Hello. So I'm here, as most of you may know from just watching me on Twitch or even seeing some of my channel now. I play a lot of CoD Zombies, and I think it's time we hop on the train. A little late, but we're gonna do what every other Zombies YouTuber does, and that's make a tier list of the maps that are out. This is all of the Treyarch maps, non-Treyarch maps, remakes, reimagines, remasters, and submaps. I don't know what submaps are. But I think this, yeah, it does have Outbreak and Firebase Z, so this is updated current to date, so 2021. And the first one is Origins Chronicles. I'm gonna be honest. I think I will do both. That's fine. No worries. Origins and Origins Chronicles really aren't too big of a difference for me. I would have to say I like Origins Standard on Black Ops 2 more than Chronicles, but I like the engine that Black Ops 3 has better than Black Ops 2. So it's definitely between an A and an S here. I'm going to put it in A, but the original version is definitely, spoiler alert, it's going to go into S. Verrucht. I have never seen a map more deserving of a C tier than anything else. Verrucht is fine, like I don't mind it, but it's like it's just there, right? There's nothing flashy, there's nothing great about it, but keep in mind this was the second map ever. So it's great. I like it, but it's there, you know? Compared to the rest of the maps, it's not that good. Ancient Evil, I mean, this is the one map that I haven't fully completed the Easter egg to. It's the only map. And I have no interest, no desire in going back and playing Black Ops 4 to try and do that. But I think this is like a B tier. It's not a terrible map, but it definitely has its flaws and its problems. The Final Reich, I don't know, never cared. I played it like twice. Most of the non-Treyarch maps are going to go into that tier. That's why I added it. Just because I'm a big Treyarch Zombies fan, and the rest of it I just didn't really care to play. Bus Depot, for what it does, it's fine, but it's not really that good. So I don't think it's going to go into the D tier or the F tier. I think it's a solid D tier. Mob of the Dead. After 50 rounds of this map last night, it's still S to this day. It is one of the greatest maps you can play. The story is great. The replayability is kind of there. I mean, to me, it's not as good as Origins. I was explaining this last night. The replayability isn't always there, but it's still a great map to go back and play every now and then. It's not something I could load up every day and play, but it's still one of the top tier maps ever made by Treyarch. Kino der Toten. To me, this is one of the most overhyped maps ever. It's great. It's simple, but it is not an S tier by any means. Like, you are crazy if you think you put it in S tier. It is so deserving of a B, maybe an A at most, but I'm gonna slap it in B. Derice Black Ops 1, I mean, it's the same. It just doesn't. The box weapons are different. It's not, the wall weapons are the same. The box weapons are different. And it has mule kick. That's really the only difference. So I think most of the Black Ops 1 remakes are gonna go into like B or C tier, just because they don't really provide too much difference from the original. And then we'll judge it based on the original. Like Verrucht, I've judged it based on the original. But Verrucht, Black Ops 1, wherever it is, will probably go into like B or C just because there's not much difference between it besides the mule kick. Shinonuma Black Ops 1, like I said, virtually the same map, just a different engine with mule kick. Shangri-La Chronicles, without PhD, this map definitely drops a tier. Shangri-La is not that terrible of a map, but Chronicles does provide the gobblegums that help you. And that's the only reason I got around 50 on that map. So I think it's deserving of a B tier. It's definitely a challenge, but it's not the worst map out there. Shadows of Evil. This is, oh my god. This is such a great map. Such a fantastic map. There's so much good about a launch map like Shadows of Evil. For my take anyways, like, I'd say the casual community probably hates this map just because of how difficult it is. And it's your launch map compared to like Kino der Toten or Noct or Town, not necessarily Transit, but Town, all those launch maps compared to Shadows of Evil are very basic, very simple. But Shadows of Evil just has so much going for it. It's great. Shinonuma, the fact that you can get to high rounds and it's so buggy, I gotta put it in B tier. I gotta. It's so fun. If it didn't crash my game every time I tried to go to like round 1,000, I'd do it. But I'm not gonna do it. Verrückt Chronicles, I think this is on the same standard as the Black Ops 1 remakes, just because these maps have been remade so many times, it's hard to really judge it. I think C tier is where it belongs. There's not much difference other than Gobblegum and the Wonder Fizz. Blood of the Dead, putting it there, no questions asked. We don't have to talk about it because this video will go an hour long if I have to talk about Blood of the Dead just being an F tier. Anyways, Descent, I don't know, never cared, never played it, don't care to. It's Advanced Warfare. Like, I mean, the first one, I don't even remember what the first map was called. Was it Outbreak? Horizon Drac, another S tier map. It's just so good. It's amazing. You can't go wrong with it. It has one of the best Easter egg endings, as well as the first edition of a true boss fight in zombies. So you just can't go wrong with it. It's definitely one of those home runs that Treyarch made. Zombies in Spaceland. This is the only map in Infinite Warfare I decided to play, and I gotta say, it's deserving of an A. It's one of the greater maps of Infinite Warfare was not that bad. That's all I gotta say. The Darkest Shore, I don't know, never cared. Tortured Path, I don't know, never cared. I'm telling you, that tier is gonna be filled up by the end of this video, simply because I have not played half of these maps. At least none of the Treyarch ones. And like, for the most part, from what I've heard and what I've seen, a lot of them just aren't that good anyway, so it's fine. Voyage of Despair, I want you to know, when this map first got released, I was so hyped for it, and then it just let me down. I think it goes into the F tier with Blood of the Dead. I really think so. It is not that good of a map. The Easter egg makes no sense. It just provides very little gameplay aspect that actually makes it fun. And the Wonder Weapon is absolute trash. Like, complete garbage. The Kraken is one of the worst Wonder Weapons I've ever tried to use. One of. Not the worst, but one of. And then a complete U-turn of that would be Buried. That is a solid A tier. I mean, it has its flaws. Don't get me wrong. But most maps do. It's just very easy. And it's just kind of there. I mean, I like it. Very fun. But it's just I feel like it's too easy to be an S tier. Even with the staffs and the bows in Horizon Drac and Origins and the Mob of the Dead story and everything, it's just, it still provides a challenge. Whereas Buried, it's like you have the buildables, you have an infinite ammo gun, you have the Mark II that up to 3 players in the game can get. Not to mention the super Easter egg. If you do all the other maps Easter eggs and then do that one and activate it with 4 people, both endings become just crazy for high rounds. Grossenhaus, I think I've played this map. It's going, and I don't know. I never cared. Because I really don't. Like, if it's not a Treyarch map, I don't care. It's not that good for me. Alpha Omega, I gotta put in D tier. I think the Easter egg was okay. I think the layout of the map was kind of bad. And I think what they were trying to do with it was kind of bad. It's just, it felt too much of a remake or a reimagine that just they went too far with, like Blood of the Dead, but at least it was better than Blood of the Dead. At least you could actually play it. A Call of the Dead, this for the longest time was my favorite map, just because of the atmosphere, the wonder weapons. George Romero himself is on the map, and just like Buried, it's not easy, but it has too many flaws to put in S tier, but it is a solid A tier map. Like, it's up there for me. Original Nocturne Toten. I gotta go C. I mean, it's just kind of that mid tier that, like, it's there. I'm okay with it. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but it's just kind of there, you know? Garad Crovy, I think it's the same as Call of the Dead and Buried and Chronicles Origins. It has too much wrong with it for it to be an S tier map, but it is a great map. I do love it. I love the storyline. I love the Easter egg ending, and the boss fight's pretty easy. Once you like, it's not terrible. It's getting to the boss fight that's a little difficult. But the gameplay flows very perfect with the Easter egg steps, so it's not bad at all. Original Doris. I'm an advocate for this map. This is the map. This is my first map that I ever played with zombies. And I gotta say, it's the only original one that's gonna go into it like a B tier. It had a lot of bugs and glitches. Some that were good for you, like the 3-gun glitch, and then others like the Wonder Wolf that would hurt you. But it was a solid map. I just think it's too basic to be put in an A tier. Kind of like Kino. And Kino and Doris are very similar to each other. The Giant, I think it's really the same map. There's a few extra added things, but not much. I think it goes hand in hand with Doris. Knocked Zombies Chronicles. That actually steps it up just because you can get perks. You can set up. And with the gobble guns, you can actually set up like it's a normal map and go for a high round. But it's not much different from the original map, so it only goes 1 tier higher. Hog der Toten, as someone who loves Call of the Dead, they did a travesty to my map. They really did. It's going in D. It's somewhat playable, unlike these two down here. Like, F tier is something that's completely unplayable to me. I just hate it. At least it's playable. It's just not good. I don't know if it's because of the Black Ops 4 engine or just the fact that it's just not a good remake, reimagine, whatever you want to call it. It's just not good. Die Rise, I think it's... Alright, Die Rise isn't terrible of a map, but it's definitely not good. I don't think it's mid-tier by any means. Like, it's definitely not on the same tier as Verrucht and Black Ops 1 Doris or Knocked. But it's better than Blood of the Dead, Voyage of Despair, all of those. I'll give it that. The Slickofire is somewhat decent of a wonder weapon. It's one of the better ones, actually. But it's just on a shit map. Like, there's no other way around to saying it. So I think that's where we go. Let's just go ahead, now that I see another one that I haven't played. I'm just going to go ahead and fill in that gray tier at the bottom with stuff that I haven't played. Alright, I've played all these. Good. Tetsubo no Shima. You guys are going to think I'm crazy. I don't mind this map at all. There's nothing wrong. It's not S tier like Mob, Shadows, Origins, Doris. But it's the worst of the best maps. Like, it's the worst of the A tier. If there was an A minus tier, it'd be in that. It's better than the Bs, but it's not on the same par as the S's. So it's got to be an A, right? It's a solid map. It definitely has its flaws, but I think that it's not that bad. It's pretty fun. Town, for it to be a survival, I'm not sure why Town's here. Bus Depot and all those. I don't know why they didn't just do Transit. I mean, it's all the same map, really, but if we're going to split it up, we're going to split it up. Town's a solid B tier. It's not in the same tier as A and all them, but it's, for it to be a survival map, very limited. It's one of the better ones, and we'll keep the same trend here. Knocked, Black Ops 1 and Knocked are virtually like the same map. It's just the Thunder Gun's on this one, and the Ray Gun is your only wonder weapon on this one. That's it. Dead of the Night, it's playable. Not much, but it's playable. Oh, there's just so many things wrong with that map too that it's playable, but it's just, that's about it. Ascension's kind of like Kino to me. It's very overrated. I think it's a solid map, but I don't think it's S tier or A tier like everyone thinks it is. It's a solid map for sure, but I just don't think that it's that good of a map. I really don't. Classified. Classified's actually one of the better Black Ops 4 maps, but it's still on Black Ops 4. So it's hard to put it anywhere above C. Just because of Black Ops 4 itself was not that good of an engine for zombies. Oh wait, I never Shattered Throne. Get back in there. Die Machine, this is definitely a B tier map. It's great. It's a great launch map. It's great for what it does. Like, if you noticed, Knocked, Chronicles, well, I mean, it's the same map overall. Town, Kino, Die Machine, all of those are launch maps. They're really good for what they do. I think Shadows is easily the best launch map of all time. Like, it's hard to have a map at the launch of a game be in S tier. But Die Machine's not bad. It serves its purpose. It gets you fitted into the game for when DLCs come out and everything. So I think that it's a solid map overall. Let's see. Verrucht Black Ops 1. Yeah, I think it goes in the same tier as Verrucht. It's not much different at all. So it's kind of hard to really make it any different. Original Origins. Already spoiled it earlier. It's S tier. I love the map. I do. My favorite map of all time now. Moon Chronicles. I love Moon. And Chronicles makes it just that much better. So I think this is one of the few cases to where the Chronicles version is actually better than the original. So, I mean, that's kind of a spoiler too. But Moon Chronicles is going to be here in A tier. I think it's a really solid map. It's got a lot going for it. The Easter egg ending is still the same. And, I mean, it's the same map, just on a better engine than Black Ops 1. I hated the Black Ops 1 engine. The guns were pea shooters. Like, past round 30, you had to hit the box like 4 times just to get through the round. Farm, I mean, it's one step down from Town, only because it doesn't have Pack-a-Punch, and it's like a little bit tighter of an area to run. But it's playable. Better than these maps. Shangri-La Black Ops 1, about the same as Shangri-La. It provides its challenge, but both of them have their flaws, have their ups and downs compared to each other, like the Chronicles and the regular version. But there's something that, like, you know, you can load up and play it. I don't like think about it all the time that I want to play Shangri-La, but it's definitely not the worst map out there. So it's definitely not an F tier map by any means. And then Moon Chronicles we put in A, so I think Moon regular we'll put in B, just because of the guns in it. Just make it so hard for high rounds, other than the wave gun and the Mark 1 ray gun. Shinonuma Chronicles. This is kind of the same case as Knocked Chronicles, in a sense that it's a step up just because of Gobblegum. You can get to higher rounds and whatnot. 9 and Classified are around the same tier. If it wasn't on the terrible Black Ops 4 engine, I would play it a lot more. 9 is a great map. If you put 9 in Black Ops 3, excellent map. But I gotta say, 9 is the only map, in my opinion, that does fit Black Ops 4's engine, in a sense, because the layout of the map makes sense for Black Ops 4. 5 is actually on the same tier as all these down here. It's playable. It's not fun, but it's playable. And then Revelations, I feel about the same as I do with Buried with this one. It's fun, it's playable, but it's too easy. You literally, if you count the Ragnaroks that you get out of the box, you have 3 wonder weapons. You have God Mask that make it so that 11 hits before you go down. The only thing that the map is missing is an upgraded zombie shield. And honestly, you don't even need it. I can load this map up and go to round 100 like that. I've done it several times. It's not the hardest map in the world. It's very easy, but it's solid. And I think the replayability, just because it's easy, is weighing it down a little bit more from an S tier, but it's still fun. It's still a lot better than everything below it. Nuketown, I'm going to be honest, it's there. You can get Jug round 7. You can get Jug round 27. I don't know if that's actually true about 27, but you get my point. It's very hard if you don't get the right perks at the right time. But it's okay. Like Farm. It's not bad. I think it's a step down from regular Town. But I think it's cool that they put the multiplayer map in Zombies. I think that how they did it was okay for the time. It's definitely better than the Alpha Omega remake. All right, 4 left. We got Ascension Chronicles. About the same map, really. It's not much difference. I think they added double tap, and Widow's Wine replaces PhD. then Black Ops 3 weapons, like it's about the same. Transit, I've spoken in the past about Transit. It's pretty bad, but it's pretty fun to play with friends and just not try. It's there. It definitely has a lot of problems with it, but it's not the greatest, not the worst. Kino Token Chronicles, that's really the same map as well. It's not much different. You add Gobblegum, but I mean, the original Kino just had a better vibe to it, which weighs it in up to the Gobblegum. And then the newest map, Firebase Z, ironically, it's honestly in the same tier as well. Like B tier, just that's what a lot of the maps are nowadays, is just B tier. They're there, right? They're not the worst, but not the best. I don't know. With Firebase Z, like day one, I hit round 50 on it, which you guys didn't know. I do a lot of round 50 attempts on most of the maps. So I do round 50 a lot, and then if I hit it day one, you know, it's not that difficult of a map, but it didn't captivate. It didn't keep me wanting to play Firebase Z. So it's just, I did the Easter egg. I did round 50 within the first week or so. I just was already bored. I did everything I wanted to with it. That's why I haven't been playing Cold War as much. But I definitely think this tier list is just spot on. These four up here, if I had to put them in any order, it would probably be that there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Origins, DE, Shadows, and the Mob. And then I think 2, 3, and 4 really just change based on the day. Mob is great for the story. It's great for what it does. Amazing map. But the story of Shadows, every little side Easter egg on Shadows is great. And then Origins and Horizon Drag give you the bows and the staffs that just make it so that you can be completely overpowered. But that's the whole point of zombies, right? To be overpowered. To get to those high rounds so that you can show off your skill. Yeah, that's it. That's the tier list. So if you enjoyed and want more tier lists of anything in zombies, maybe Wonder Weapons, maybe other games, you know, maybe Agents and Valorant, since I do play Valorant a lot. Anything like that, just let me know down in the comments below, and yeah, that's it. See you guys later. Sometimes, not a flight to LA, I'm on it. Living on our own, we going it like that. And when the time comes to get mobbing, we don't let it go to waste. These long, summer nights gon' fade.